Death is the wish of some, the relief of many, and the end of all. If you do not sub, like, or comment, I will rip you limb from limb. To give you a quick summary of what it is that I do is kind of complicated. I'm the person that goes searching for things that most people are too scared to believe in, whether they are willing to admit it or not. I search for Wendigos, Kikimora, and other things that I'm not sure of. I keep a whole journal filled with everything I have encountered, but nothing compares to the being that I recently encountered, the thing that made me take a step away for a bit. It started with a rumor I heard in a bar in the middle of nowhere nonetheless. I had stopped in right after a case of mine that just ended, one involving a supposed Jersey Devil sighting, but that's for another time. The reason why I stopped, you may ask though, is because the sign for the bar a few miles back kept blinking repeatedly, as if something was telling me to stop. The inside was a quaint place, almost like your typical old-fashioned movie bar, hustling and bustling happening all around. One thing did stick out though, a light dimming frequently around a couple patrons. I made my way around and stopped nearby to hear what they were talking about. I only got a couple words before I spoke to the man talking later that night. Shadowy figure. Once things died down a bit, I decided to approach the man myself. Hey man, I couldn't help but overhear you saying something about a shadowy figure. The man looked at me for a long time without saying a thing. To cut the silence, I spoke up again. Listen, you don't have to tell me if you don't want to, but this is the kind of stuff I look into. I'm an investigator of sorts. Take a look. I opened up my jacket and pulled out a compendium I've been working on. Gently setting it on the table, I slid it to the man saying, "Have a look for yourself." I then walked to the bartender, ordered 2 drinks and walked back to the man, handing him one. He took it, looked up and said, "Alright, I believe ya, but I'm gonna tell you a few things." I then asked, "Do you mind if I record?" He looked sheepishly and finally spoke up. "As long as you don't use my name or the place is named." "Works for me," I said, pulling out my audio recorder and loading in a new cassette. Audio transcript, case log 25, name, John Doe, location, not on file. M. Ready when you are. J. This creature, or whatever it is not like anything in this book. I know you got a few pages on shadow folk, but it's not like that. The thing was black, just pure black. M. Pure black, not like a see-through-ish black or almost all black man? J. No, not at all like that. It was just black, like nothing was there. It looked like an all black cutout of a man. No features, nothing. Just darkness, like nothing I've ever seen before. M. So you're saying that you came across something that was just pure black? Where did you find it and what did it do? The man just sat there for a few minutes looking down as if he was contemplating his next words. Although he looked terrified, sweat started to appear on his brow. M. Listen man, if it's too hard to remember or think of, I get it. J. It's not that. I remember everything. I wish I didn't. The things it did, the things it showed me were, I wouldn't wish it upon anyone. Not even a stranger like you. M. What do you mean? What did it do? Where can I find it? You can tell the eagerness in my voice to learn more. J. I won't tell you where it is, but let's just say I have been to this bar every day for the last few months. It told me things and showed me. Oh God, the things it showed me. Everyone is dying. The world is on fire. And... The man's head fell into his hands as he began weeping, almost uncontrollably. God damn it, not again. I think it's time for you to leave. The bartender yelled from across the counter. Audio transcript, case log 25, over. After consoling the man and bringing him outside to wait for a taxi, he finally told me where it all happened. It didn't take a lot of convincing though. For the safety of others, I will not disclose the location, but I wasn't even sure I'd find it. The place was interesting. The drive was as well. The man's instructions were pretty clear. Drive here, turn at this tree, turn, and boom. It was a small, quaint town. Settlement? I don't know what to call it. Kind of a small commune. 3 buildings, a post office, a bar, and a rundown church, but neither of those were what I was after. A mile past the ghost town was a farm, or what was left of one. The barn collapsed, broken fences, and my target, the rundown house. The sun was setting as I finished my way down the long driveway. As I parked my truck, I got an unsettling feeling, and flashes of one of my cases came to mind. It dealt with an old farmhouse like this. The family inside was all over the place, to say the least. Inside the living room was what seemed to be a man on his knees, but as I entered the room, it turned around baring its teeth. It wasn't a man, but a wichige. It charged at me, throwing me to the side and running out of the door. I didn't see it again, but that family, what happened to them? Always stuck. Seeing that really made me contemplate leaving and saying fuck this. But I needed to know what would drive a man to break down to that point. Cautiously, I walked up the steps, peering into the windows to make sure no one was inside. Thankfully, the place was empty. I turned on my flashlight and reached for the doorknob until I heard, "Don't," very quietly. I shot around to see nothing, thinking it was all in my head. I turned the knob and went in. As soon as I entered the house, I fell. I fell for what seemed to be minutes, sliding down this pitch black hole, screaming and feeling hands grab and scratch at me, feeling their nails rip and tear up my flesh, the warm blood running across my skin before finally hitting the ground. I awoke, sitting on a chair, and something standing across from me, waiting for my vision to come into focus. I was in what looked like a root cellar, with a few lights barely on around the room. Trying to gain my composure, I finally heard something speak.
"You came seeking answers, and now you are here.
Where are you?"
I am right in front of you."
I looked up to see, I'm not sure what. It wasn't just black. It was as if there was nothing there. A cutout of a man was standing in front of me. It was like the absence of light. No features or anything could be seen. The light from my flashlight didn't even appear on him. The dread resonating off of him made me want to scratch my eyes out, to not feel it anymore. I quickly pulled out my recorder and pressed record before the being finally spoke up once again. "Audio transcript, case log 26, name, entity, location, cellar."
I am the absent of light, the absent of good. I am only darkness.
So, you're the devil?
No, you fucking idiot. I am the embodiment of evil.
Sounds a lot like the devil to me.
Your Christian beliefs are not real. Every religion is wrong. When you die, there is no light, there is no heaven, no hell, only darkness. You become a part of me. Before there was anything, there was me. And when everything ends, I will be all that remains. You are an insignificant speck in the infinity, always dying universe. Let me show you."
The being reached what seemed to be a hand at me, and I quickly scooped back, avoiding his grasp. What if I don't want to see it?
That's a first. Every being, person or thing I have met has never rejected me, never rejected the truth. All those that have searched have never turned away.
But how am I supposed to believe you? You could just be lying. I saw what you did to... He was a mess after running into you. I mean, you did also say you're the embodiment of evil.
What's more evil? Lying to you about what's really out there? Or showing you the truth of everything?
What is this so-called truth of yours? What will I see?
What you see depends on who you are. Some see good things, some see bad. It depends on the person.
That doesn't really make sense.
Do you want to see or not?
Fine. Fuck it. I'm in.
Audio transcript case log 26 end.
With that, the being placed his hand on my head and the most immeasurable thing happened. It was as though I was seeing the past, present, and future all at once. The creation of everything, every universe, person, and planet. Then, the destruction of it all. I felt 1,000 deaths and heard thousands of pleas. But I somehow focused on one thing, one of my first encounters with something, one of the dominoes that made the rest fall. It was Saturday, June 22nd, 1996. I was barely a boy, only 6 years old. My father just came home from work as my mom was finishing up supper. As we were eating, a loud screech came from outside, shattering the windows of our house. My father quickly got up and grabbed a knife before a beautiful woman with black hair stopped him. She wore a tattered dress, looked malnourished, and was covered in cuts. My father stood still, almost in a trance, and was unable to move. The woman inched closer, grabbing his head and turning it to the side. My mother wailing and telling me to look away before the woman spoke. "I'm sorry. You have to see this." With that, the woman got close to his ear, screaming in it, as blood came out of his eyes and ears. Not only were my mom's ears bleeding too, but so were mine. I passed out soon after and woke up in the hospital, just to be told I was an orphan. More flashes came and went. I soon was in the deepest parts of what could only have been hell. The feelings of whips hitting my back and creatures digging their claws deeper into my calves and pulling down, only for it to reset and happen again and again. Then being nailed to a wall and all of my nails being pulled off. These were some sadistic fuckers, I thought, as the last nail got ripped off, only for them to all grow back again. I awoke in my bed, gasping for air as I shot up. Are you okay? What happened?" I heard my wife say while hugging me. "Just another nightmare. I think my medication is messing with me," I replied, getting up. I'm gonna go make some coffee and get a little work done. Go back to bed," I said before kissing her. I started a pot of coffee and grabbed my laptop to do my annual reports that were due next week. I was finally happy and living the life I wanted. It took years of therapy after my parents' death in that accident, but it was worth it. I finally had the woman of my dreams and 2 beautiful kids. Life was good. I awoken all of them to chocolate chip pancakes before going out and getting some more groceries. While at the grocery store, I felt something watching me, but anytime I looked around, nothing was there. Until finally, in the corner of my eye, I saw the silhouette of a person, almost like a cutout of a person. My head started ringing and my vision was getting blurry. Before the next thing I knew it, I was waking up gasping for air again. This time, not waking my wife. The worst thing was, I wasn't in control of my body. And I grabbed a pillow. I couldn't do anything but scream in my mind as the pillow was placed over her head, and I watched her fight until she became limp. It happened over and over until I finally realized what was happening. I was punishing myself. I lost her a long time ago, but she's not dead. She just didn't want to be a part of what I was doing. Something was pulling my strings. Flashes of lights and a hand gripping my head tighter before waking up in the forest. Slowly getting up, I notice that I'm clad in armor. Hearing screams, I look up and I watch a vicious beast tearing apart people wearing both the same and different colors than me. A werewolf. But that's not possible. They've been extinct since the Dark Ages. Then I remember where I'm at and what I'm wearing. Fuck, I say as I look up and meet a hand of bloody claws right in my face. Falling down, I feel my jaws slack and my air on the ground. Trying to get up, I feel the beast slash my Achilles before feeling its mouth close on the back of my neck. I wake up on the floor panting for air, not knowing what's happening or what reality I'm in.
Audio transcript, case log 26. Name, entity, location, seller.
E.
Have you had enough? Are you willing to accept that what you do is for nothing?
M. Why? Why is it for nothing though? E.
Because in all realities and timelines, you die a horrible death. You will never live a happy life, only a life covered in darkness. Meeting me solidifies that.
M. Caught ya. E.
What did you say?
M. If you were a being that was here at the beginning and end, then how would you know we would meet? E.
We will always meet. I have been guiding your hand this whole way. I have put all of the pieces in motion. I am the one you meet before or after death. What don't you understand?
M. How are you supposed to know everything when you don't? E.
Well then, I will have to show you everything once more.
For the first time, I could see facial features in the entity, sunken in eyes, and a mouth full of sharp white teeth. As it bore its hand towards me, it seemed ecstatic in the thought of torturing me more. But what it saw as torture, I saw as learning it. Everything has a weakness. I just need to find it. M. Try your best.
Audio transcript, case log 26. End.
This is your buddy Darkness, and remember, darkness is only a switch away.